This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RopePaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good morning, Bronco Nation. How we doing here? BroncoNationNews.com, Tuesday, November 4th. We got no school today, so the kids are home, I guess, an election of some sort today. So hope, folks, if your kids are home with you, you're getting your work done, getting to spend some extra time with your family, as I'm going to do here today, because the sun did come up, and there is more to life than a basketball game or a football game. I know that's tough to hear and take right now after last night, because that was quite the debacle there at Extra Mile Arena. Final seconds coming off the clock. Dylan Andrews, Leon Rice said he would have liked to have seen him drive to the hoop, instead kind of settling there for that jumper, which he did say he's made a lot of times in his career. Doesn't get that one to fall. And congratulations to the Sharks of Hawaii Pacific, as they make the long trip and are rewarded with not only a check, but memories of a lifetime there, as a stunned silence, the fans leaving Extra Mile Arena, and the Sharks celebrating one of the greatest wins in the history of their program there at Extra Mile Arena last night. So my name's BJ Rains. Jay Tust going to be by momentarily. We'll talk basketball and last night. And yeah, I mean, there were some positives, certainly. Spencer Aaron's playing well. I thought Nato played well, but not going to be a ton of sugarcoating it. It was about as bad as it gets when it comes to the loss last night. Statistically, one of the worst losses in the history of Boise State basketball. You have to go back to 1995 when they played Lewis Clark State to find the time that they lost to a non-Division I team. So over 30 years, I believe, when they lost to Lewis Clark State in 1995. And I still think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this team. But certainly if, and it's a little too early, I think, just completely jump off the bandwagon, but certainly not a lot, to take away feeling good about last night. And certainly the hole you're now climbing yourself out of in terms of where Boise State is at in terms of the national picture. Not good. Not good at all. And I know our friend Jay Tust was there covering the game last night. And Jay, been a rough 48 hours for Boise State fans on the football side. And then everybody was so excited for basketball season to kind of help, get everybody feeling better again. And then that went downhill pretty quickly as well. Appreciate you for joining us. But, yeah, tough one last night.
Tough one to say the least. Man. I think that on night one, you never really know completely what to expect. I mean, like we even talked about that a little bit on your pregame show. Like last year, night one, Dylan Anderson just went off and looked like he was going to be the next big thing. And that turned out to be, his best moment probably as a Bronco. And then he was seldom used really not long after that, I would say. And so you never really know what to expect night one, but man, I did not see that coming last night. Just did not see that coming at all. Oddly, I know that it was, many fans' first chance to see these guys. It feels like such a shocking defeat, BJ. It still doesn't necessarily feel real. And I know there's like this debate of whether it counts or whether it doesn't count. Does it land on the team sheet for the NCAA tournament? And, maybe we can get into that here in just a second here. But for me, like it was so not real that I'm not saying anybody should dismiss it, but I do have confidence that team's going to be all right.
Yeah.
But last night certainly was not all right.
Yeah, now I guess that is the silver lining in terms of the net ranking and the KenPom and some of the metrics. That game does not show up on there. So when people are just kind of searching a list later and they say, oh, they're 5-0 in quad 4, oh, they're 4-0 in quad 1, technically that game will not show up. Technically, it does not impact the net rankings or the KenPom numbers. Bart Torvik, from that standpoint, it is a positive. I did see the head of the NCAA media guy got on there last night on Twitter and did say that the team sheet does show the result, and it is part of the overall team evaluation. But I would say, so it is on the sheet. I would also say, like, it's the first game of the season. If you go on and go 23-7 or whatever, and you obviously show that you made major improvements and everything else says you're worthy of the tournament, I have a hard time believing one loss by 1 point on the first night of the season, they're going to go, oh my gosh, no, we just literally can't put them in. Like, it just – why play the rest of the season if that's the case? Like, I would say
I think you're right. Like, I don't think last night is going to be the reason why they do or don't make, a potential run at the NCAA tournament, in my opinion, which could be wrong, but I don't think that last night will be the difference maker. I will say it with how often this team does plan itself firmly on the bubble. It's not. Oh yeah, it's not. If you're right on the bubble like they have been in the last 5 years, this loss will be worse than any other loss any other team has. There's no doubt about it. But to the point you can't even measure
in the tournament,
for the most part, to the point you can't even measure it.
Yes, Yeah, and so I guess in that standpoint, we're not trying to sugarcoat it, whatever. Like it's if you're tied with a team and it's you versus them, it's going to be the worst loss, and it certainly will be a factor. But to say on night one, oh, the at-large hopes are cooked, I just don't think you can say that, because you have no idea how the rest of the season is going to play out. If maybe you saw enough to say, okay, this team's not very good, they're not going to win 25 games or 20 games. Like, if you think that's the case and you have watched Boise State basketball for a long time and you have never seen Leon Rice's teams improve as the season go on and win big games and usually ascend up. I mean, they have an early season loss like this pretty much every year. I mean,
I was telling somebody that last night, BJ, like it's not, and maybe that's just because we've covered the team so long. We've kind of seen stuff like this before. Usually this happens, and almost always they work themselves back into whether it be competing for a Mountain West title or an NCAA tournament bid. But it doesn't count in some of the metrics, but it's not good at the same time.
Not good at all. And frankly, Jay, I mean, it was I think I maybe said too strong of a word last night on the post-game show, and I said, that they were, at least at the time, being the laughing stock of college basketball, and that's not true. But what I meant was, you look at every national reporter and everything last night. I mean, there was not a lot of huge upsets, win or lose, and so there was a lot of talk about Boise State in that game last night. I mean, I posted the video, Jay, of the final shot missing and them celebrating. It's now up to over 750,000 views on Twitter. I mean, you talk about the people retweeting it, and I saw a lot of national people. I mean, it's just the John Rothsteins of the world. I mean, the narrative last night obviously was not good. When you have a lot of, when you have a lot of people tweeting about you and not going well, I mean, it's not good.
It's basically the only way anybody outside of Boise would have paid any attention to that game.
Yep.
And so that's difficult. That hurts. I think the thing that probably was just a little disappointing to me was, some of the returners last night that, you felt like would probably carry the team through some difficult moments early in the season as this new team learns to grow and mesh together and things like that. And, there's some returners that just didn't have a good night last night. And, JB, I still stand by. I think the kid's going to have a phenomenal year. I do, but he didn't have a great night last night. He played, he even played 19 minutes, was 1 of 7, and, missed some shots that, he gets down low and normally probably finishes. But, his plus minus, which I know you don't pour everything into, but still, like, I do think it tells some story in that he was minus 14 or Boise State was minus 14 in his 18 minutes and 32 seconds of action. Pina was in the starting lineup and he played a little over 11 minutes. And you get to the end of that game where you really need something to happen. And there was one returner on the floor, BJ.
Yeah, and it was RJ Keene.
No.
Oh.
Andrew Meadow.
Okay, at one point they had, I think, Keene and 4 newcomers or something as well. It was
I just mean like the final possession of the game. Sorry, just the final possession. You had Drew Fielder and Dylan Andrews out there, your 2 big transfers.
Who were the 2 that came and talked to the media after the game.
Yep, and they did a phenomenal job, by the way. I mean, they owned it. They obviously took accountability for it. And, Drew Fielder, I don't know how many times he said that, maybe they probably took this opportunity for granted a little bit, but it's never going to happen again. And I've seen the fire that Drew plays with. I think that maybe that's what, unfortunately, maybe that's what this team needed so that it doesn't ever happen again. I mean, that was a pretty big slap in the face last night, but you had those 2 guys on the floor. You had Andrew Meadow on the floor, and then you actually had two true freshmen on the floor in AG Neto and Spencer Aarons. And that was, that was the 5 that Leon put out there. And I am not questioning the 5 that were out there. If anything, I would, probably point out the first 59 minutes and 35 seconds, basically, that led to that moment. And I just, you want to see some fight and some fire. And, I just don't think you really saw that last night, unfortunately. And, I think that you had a guy like Alvaro Cardenas on the team last year. Man, I'll tell you, it was one thing about Alvaro. That guy was a competitor, and he would get after you, even if things weren't going well. And then the ultimate Mr. Consistency, Tyson Degenhart. Like, go figure they lose the first game after, the winningest guy in school history basically leaves the program. I mean, Tyson meant a lot to that team, right?
Yeah.
And they've got some things to figure out and some leadership roles to fill and things like that. And I still have a lot of confidence in this roster. I've seen them. I do, and maybe it's a dumb thing to say after what we saw last night. I'm not giving them. I don't think they deserve a pass because they did go out and lose that game, but I still have confidence in this roster. Like,
I think
they're I do think they are a talented team.
Yeah, and I think most people on this chat, I think most rational Boise State fans walked out of the building last night going, "Man, that sucked," but not, "Oh, we're going to go 10-20." I mean, I still think, folks, maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody messaged me that.
let me know in the chat if I'm wrong, but I mean, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's the 2 or 3 naysayers, the trolls that are okay. Here we go again, whatever. Like, it was a terrible loss. It will impact the NCAA tournament, yes, but doesn't impact the conference, doesn't impact the conference race, doesn't impact a lot of things, and I still think they have a chance to win a lot of games moving forward here. But both can be true. I think the team can be better than they played last night, and they can still have a chance to win a lot of games. But they also suffered one of the worst losses in school history, an embarrassingly bad loss. I mean, BSU Bill says every year Leon says the same thing. I think this can be a good shooting team. They'll make more shots, and then that never comes to fruition. Again, it's one game, and there were some shots that guys that we've seen in the past make them, didn't make them. I mean, I think it was 1 for 13 on 3 from the returners last night. So, I mean, you talk about, is Andrew Meadow not a good 3-point shooter? Did we not see Pearson Carmichael hit some threes, last year and some of those guys? So, if the returners go 1 for 13 from 3 every game, Jay, they're not going to win a lot of games. But last year they also didn't go 1 for 13 from 3 very often, if at all. So, it was a terrible loss. There is a lot of negatives from that game, but I also don't think we're being homers or sugarcoating it if we still think there's a good amount of talent on the team that can still win a lot of games.
Yeah, I think I got like 2 for 13 or 2 for 13?
I had 1 for 13 I saw, and from 3 on the returners. I guess there's Carmichael and Meadow both did hit 1. So, yeah, there's 2 for 8.
Not good.
9, 11,
we got BJ 13. Doing math live on air right now.
4 of 13.
Yeah.
Or no, 2 of 13.
2, yeah.
2 of 13. Sorry. I said 1 of 13.
Not great.
No, but I mean, Andrew,
I do think they're going to be better. I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong, but
Andrew Meadow and Pearson Carmichael are not both going to go 2 of 8 very, very often. No. It's just a fact. It's not. And if in 3 weeks they have, you guys can come at it and say, "Oh, you guys were wrong," whatever. Like they're not. I mean, they're good shooters. They've proven it. They did it last year. They had about 10 guys have their terrible games at the same time, and it happens. And if you're going to have it happen, you would like to have it, I guess, happen in the first game as opposed to later in the season in terms of a wake-up call. I mean, I know our man Connor Johnstone was in the chat here, and he said as a competitor, which he is obviously as a college golfer, what do you do this morning if you're a player? Forget the physical part. How do you mentally come back Saturday with an ounce of confidence? Saturday's a big game. Saturday's a big opportunity. And yeah, certainly if things start going bad on Saturday and it's, 14-8 in the early going, you're down or something, then yeah, I mean, it was already going to be a pretty big game on Saturday. Utah Valley came in, it was 110th, I think, in KenPom or something. Quality team that you were only favored to beat by 10. Now Saturday all of a sudden becomes just a massive kind of bounce back game where they need to kind of right this ship pretty quick.
I agree with that. But I'll also say this on the flip side, I maybe being uncomfortable is what this team probably needs right
That's
now.
What Leon said. Yeah.
And I go back to his post-game comments and things like that. And whether it be Drew Fielder said that, maybe they were a little complacent going into that game. Leon was saying like, man, they just, I don't think he used the word necessarily press, but like they didn't just play the game. Like the moment even against the D2 team, like got to some of, the guys who were on the court last night, and it'll be a massive learning experience. I think that, we've covered Leon for a while, by the way, BJ, and I thought that he was very transparent and honest after the game last night too. I think that could have been a very frustrating, I assume it probably was very frustrating to answer some of those questions, but I think that he was pretty honest and transparent after the game. And Leon has now officially seen it all. Like he's officially seen it all. But I just go back to it. I think that I do still believe in this team. I think that Dylan Andrews had some really good moments last night. I don't know if they necessarily planned on playing him over 33 minutes, going into that contest, but he plays 33 minutes, finished with 15 points, 9 assists, probably a couple too many turnovers. He had 5 turnovers in the game, but he had the best plus minus of the starters. He was +4 of the starters. 3 out of the 5 starters were, minus. Dominic Parolin was +10 when he was on the floor. He went out and grabbed 4 offensive rebounds in about 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes. And then Spencer Aarons was pretty darn good too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I thought Spencer played really good for a freshman. I was super impressed with what Spencer did. Hit 4 3-pointers, 5 of 9 from the field, 14 points. And I'm not sure if he's, they're going to quickly put him in the starting lineup or what, but Spencer certainly proved that he's a player. And you mentioned Javen Buchanan, Jay. I mean, 1 of 7 from the field, I believe. It was 0 of 6 at one point. Like, he's some people's pick to be first team All Mountain West at the end of the season. Like, if Javen Buchanan just, having 6 points, I mean, it's just not going to happen very often. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but it was just a lot of guys that had performances we probably won't see the rest of the season. And if you do, you're going to see one guy do that, not 5 at the same time. And the result was a horrendous, embarrassingly bad loss. It was a terrible loss. There's no doubt about it. But with that said, it's 1 of 31, and I get it. Fans are frustrated. Like, it does. It kills the momentum of the season. It's a big buzzkill, Jay. Like, no one's really denying that. It stinks. Like, to have, we talked about it, like you said on the pregame, like trying to avoid that early loss and getting off to the nice start and being 4-5-0. The schedule set up really, really nicely for them, but they let Hawaii Pacific hang around and hit some shots. And yeah, it definitely is a momentum killer. It stinks. You wake up today, like, if you have tickets for Saturday, some people probably saying, is it, whatever. I don't know if you're going to decide to go, not go. I would hope folks would still go. But it definitely was a major buzzkill for the momentum that the team had been building. But with that said, go win a couple games and things can kind of get back on track.
Yeah, but that's what they got to go do now. Now they have to move forward and figure this thing out and improve the product on the court and play with more grit and effort. And I think that Leon used that word after the game last night. Like, they need to work on their grit. And I mean, that was like, we've seen this team getting so many just absolute brick fights in Mountain West Conference play, where it's not a matter of being able to score, 80 points and beating a team 80-79. It's like, how do we hold them under 60 and we're going to beat them that way? And this team has to find that type of grit. And we've seen that on a number of really good Leon Rice coach teams. And they're going to have to try to find that with the squad. And that's part of the early season growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Jake, can we address the situation with the trainer? There was a lot of people commenting about it on there, and I know it looked really bad on the broadcast. I will say this. I don't remember where you were at that point, if you were already off shooting or if you were still sitting in your seat, but we were right there in the corner, and the ref it was really odd. They're like trying to hurry the game along. The ref was, I think, wanting to prevent Boise State from getting like a free timeout by bringing their players together. So he was telling them like, no, stay here, right here. And he's basically blowing his whistle, like as if he's about to hand the ball to the Boise State player. And the trainer is looking over like, we're still on the court here. Like, what's going on? Why? Like, the ref looked like he was about to like literally start the game. And I don't know if she just kind of panicked a little bit or what. And maybe you have more information, but on the broadcast, it did look kind of bad, pulling the player off the court. And then even the coach was kind of like, what are you doing? I don't know exactly what happened there, but the ref, Scott Brown, the lead official, was weirdly trying to speed that up and almost as if he was trying to basically say, get him off the court just however you can. I don't know who deserves, I don't know, blame's the right word or what happened, but it was obviously nationally that blew up as kind of a thing because that was a Boise State trainer, because Hawaii Pacific did not have a trainer on the trip. But I don't know the exact reason, if you do or not, for the way it looked in terms of just kind of, hurrying him off the court there.
I interpreted it kind of differently. As you said, Hawaii Pacific didn't have a team trainer. They had a player on the bench that came out to help try to stretch the guy that was cramping on the court. And you could see like the concern basically on the trainer that was there for Boise State. And then after it was all over, I mean, like I said, I interpreted it way differently. She stayed with the kid for probably a good 5 minutes, trying to help him, and he was their leading scorer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could have just removed themselves for the situation, but
oh no, I'm not saying. Yeah, she definitely was there to help. I think it was the optics on TV of the kid getting pulled off.
I get it, but if you were there, and I appreciate, I think it's a good thing to bring up because I even tweeted about it last night. If you were there, my interpretation of it was actually very different from the optics of it that would have came through on the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was they
didn't have to go over there and help at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are on that if they don't bring a trainer or whatever. And you're right, that was their leading players. So they could have been like, well, good luck.
Yeah.
But in the just I won't say dragging him off the floor, but kind of help pulling him off. I know that was the 5-second clip that went viral on social media. But I was watching the whole thing happen, and I think the ref was just trying to prevent Boise State from getting a free timeout. And but he just seemed like he was in a super hurry to get the game moving, and he was ready to hand the guy the ball. And I think NATO is on the inbounds. I'm not sure, or Dylan Andrews, but he's trying to hand him the ball. And I think they just kind of, I don't know, spooked is the right word, but just kind of oh, they're going to about to put the ball in play. We're still on the court. And just, I don't know. And then obviously with whatever the injury was, cramping, whatever, they probably, knew it was okay that you could help get him off the court. I have no idea what happened, but I know she does a tremendous job. She's a great trainer for the team and has deserved a lot of credit. I know when it came to Javen Buchanan's offseason turnaround. So I don't think Maddie deserves much of the ire that it looked like was kind of coming her way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Let's see. Ref was trying to get to Taco Bell, hang out with Johnny. Let's see what else we got here.
That might have been the case.
To clarify again, because I keep seeing people in the chat, Jay, it does show up on their sheet. It is part of the evaluation. The committee will know that the game happened. But when they quad this thing out and say you were whatever in quad 2, whatever in quad 3, it will not show up. It will not show up in KenPom. It will not show up in so from that standpoint, Jay, it is it could be worse. You could have had that happen to Cal State Bakersfield or whoever a couple years ago, the 346 team at KenPom, and have it kill your metrics 15 spots. I don't want to say you got a gimme or a do-over or whatever, but from that standpoint, it didn't really impact your metrics. So if you can get your KenPom and your net and all that into the top 25 or whatever at some point this season, you can overcome that. You really can. And maybe I'm wrong, but I truly believe, Jay, if they have a resume worthy of being in the tournament, they're not going to just go, oh, the first game of the season, they lost by 1 point. Yeah, we got to ignore the other 25 wins. They're out. Maybe that's me being a home or whatever. And you're right. If it's close and it's even with another team, it's not going to help. And it's not going to help all season long because whenever everybody talks about them on a podcast or a show or whatever, it's going to go, oh, but they have that loss to whatever. I get that. It's a terrible loss that will haunt them all season, no doubt. But even though it will hang with them, I still think they can overcome that. I mean, what if they go win the Maui Invitational? You don't think that wouldn't almost cancel it out, or at least have people going, "Oh wow, Boise State, they're back." Here's the team we thought we were going to see. Would winning the Maui Invitational not matter at this point? I mean, is that just the people that are just kind of saying that the season's literally over because of that loss last night? I'm not quite ready to go that far.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I necessarily wouldn't go out and predict the run the table in Maui, but I mean, yeah, that's what. I don't know if you compare Boston College to a D2 school, but what was the team a couple years ago, BJ, where I think Boise State didn't even score 40 points in the game.
That's why I just said Cal State Bakersfield.
Yeah.
It was 46-39.
Oh yes, correct. Yeah, sorry. Yes, that is the one. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yep.
Cal State That's what I'm saying. That loss, you could almost argue, even though it was Division I, was worse because it tanked all the computer metrics and rankings. I don't know why they do this. I sound like a whatever because on the Group of 5 football side, you want to have them keep playing the big boys and the top teams, and I understand that, and I'm all for equal opportunity and all this, but these should be your exhibition games. I mean, there's no – it's not just saying it now. I was saying it before. It doesn't make any sense because it doesn't help you either. It takes a win off your overall record when it comes to the tournament. You're going to be looked at as, oh, you're 20-10 instead of 21-10. There's a reason they do it, though. It does not help your metrics or hurt your metrics. Like, that is mainly the reason that they do this, and you're allowed to do 1 or 2 of them a year. Jay, you can also pay them way less. Okay, well, they didn't pay $100,000 for this game. They paid 10 or 15,000.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it was
a normal non-conference buy game is somewhere in the $90,000 to $110,000 range, $95,000, $100,000, something like that. But
yeah.
A non-D1 team, I mean, if it was like Concordia or Eastern Oregon or someone that's just bussing over here, they're maybe getting $5,000. Like,
right.
get your hotels paid for, your bus, your meals on your trip, an extra $1,500 for your program, or whatever, and that's it. I'm guessing they got a little more for Hawaii Pacific. They didn't want to have them lose money on the trip in terms of airfare and plane tickets and things like that. But Hawaii Pacific, I don't think came over to solely to get the check. It was the experience. It was a couple of local ties they have on the roster. It was, whatever it was. But this was,
maybe the wildest thing is that Hawaii Pacific wakes up today still 0-0 on the season.
Yeah, it didn't count for them either. Or it didn't count at all for them. Can they go back and change that?
I don't think so. I think you got to declare it before, but you might want to. Yeah.
And I think Jordan kind of setting it, straight here. We should have kept Pavle all along.
That would have fixed it. Good job. Yeah, you're right, Jordan.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Should we talk a little football, Jay, or neither one's super exciting to talk about?
You let me know where we're going with this. Hey, the women's soccer team, by the way,
yes,
hosting the Mountain West Championships this week.
Yes.
They play tomorrow. If they win, they play on Saturday. I mean, big week coming up for the women's soccer team. And then what kind of got overlooked over the weekend, by the way, the Boise State volleyball team got a big win at San Diego State. That really helped them out in the Mountain West standings. They got to finish top 6 to go to the Mountain West volleyball tournament later this month.
Yeah.
And so they had had an unfortunate performance, I would say, against UNLV on Thursday, but they bounced back over the weekend, and they more than made up for it by beating San Diego State in 4 sets.
And the women's team had a similar game to the men's team, but they were able to at least pull it out at the end.
Yeah, 59-51. They did trail for a majority of that game against Eastern Oregon, and they were able to come back and finish that thing off, which I know that people, that team wasn't very happy with their performance, especially because they have played pretty well in some of their other preseason things that they did. And they weren't happy with it, but man, that a win is much better than a loss. And even if they won by 1, or in this case 8, that was much better than the alternative.
I did have one more basketball thing I did want to bring up, Jay. I mean, I do think the offense will be a lot better, but I was concerned a little bit with the defense last night. If that's somewhere where if you're a fan watching that game and you're going, okay, I am concerned a little bit moving forward, I think it's fair to bring up the defense because we talked all off season about the defense was supposed to be better, and they finished 70th at Ken Palm last year. The previous 3 years when they made the tournament, they were top 30. Dylan Andrews, a great on-ball defender. We heard he's defensive first kind of point guard. There was a lot of talk and excitement about the defense, hopefully being better. And then they really struggled to stay in front of their man last night at one-on-one. And the disappointing part was just a couple baskets, including a couple key late baskets. There was just no help, or the help was too late. And guys were just getting to the rim and they made some tough shots. Like, give them credit. They really made some tough shots under the rim, but a lot of it was no help defense, no, guys getting by guys, and too many guys just kind of one-on-one at times working on their guy and eventually getting a shot there in the key. And so, Mike Burns is not happy with the tape, and they're going to get after it. And again, it is one game, but the defense, as they'll definitely tell you and did after the game, not even close to where it needs to be.
I think you're probably right on that. Even, the loss is obviously the most disappointing thing. I get it. But if you do break it down, I will say giving up 79 to a D2 team is probably something that would keep you up at night.
That's one of the highest point totals they'll probably give up all season.
Probably. You know what? You're probably right, BJ. I mean, it is not often that a Leon Rice squad allows their team over 60, let alone 70, let alone almost 80. You're right on that. I hate admitting that. hate saying those words, but you're right on that.
Now you go to practice. Can you confirm at practice they actually run the shell drill? I need to know. I have seen them run the shell drill. Yes.
I'm sure they have.
Maybe that's why they stopped running the shell drill.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Still a wing defender short ever since Abo left.
I mean, Chibuzo really. I mean, he was. Buzo was awesome. Don't get me wrong. He was awesome. I think this team should have the pieces. I really believe it. I also think that you looked at what Leon Rice said after the game last night, and after he kind of went through everything that went wrong, he was like, "It's all coachable. It's all fixable." And I do have a hard time arguing that. Like I do think that the winningest coach in Boise State history is going to, get after him a little bit in practice these next few days. And we got to see on Saturday. We got to see on Saturday, but I would expect a very fiery performance, especially the first 4 minutes of the game. I would expect to see some juice and some energy on Saturday.
No doubt about it. Hey, let's do talk. Oh, by the way, the balcony tickets, $9. I know what you're getting at there, Buck and Boise, but believe it or not, they give up 9 threes. You can still get balcony seats for Saturday, $9. Cool promotion they're doing where however many threes the other team hits, that's how much the tickets cost in the next game. So all things considered, you can still get a $9 ticket if you want to go sit in the balcony on Saturday and support this team. So I think that's a pretty cool thing they're doing. Why was no timeout called on the final play to set it up? That's not typically something they do a lot of times. And they also said that they didn't need to. They had a play they liked, they wanted to run, and they would have run the same play even if they called timeout. I mean, I know it didn't look like it to fans. It looks like Dylan Andrews is just dribbling the ball at the top of the key, and Leon Rice said he would have liked to have had him attack. But they felt kind of funny saying it got the look they wanted. I mean, they ran the play they wanted to run, and I don't think a step back 20-footer was the result they wanted at the end. But they felt like they had a play set up that they didn't need to call timeout.
I think you're right. I think it came down to maybe a little bit of execution. I think that, Dylan said he got.
Did they not have a timeout left?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Can I still see that somewhere in the stats or no?
It probably is. We can go back and look that up. But either way, I think you're right. And I think that Dylan, he was confident in the spot that he got to, and it just didn't go down. I think that you saw Leon after the game say that he did want Dylan to attack earlier in the possession, which I will say for a team that had 15 offensive rebounds, if you're Boise State.
There you go. Sorry, just to cut you off, Jay. They didn't. The broadcast said they were out of timeouts. So
okay,
I apologize for not knowing that, but there you go. That's why.
I was up in the rafter shooting the final play, thinking that I was going to get some cool shot, and it was the exact opposite. But anyways, for a team that had 15 offensive rebounds and dominated the glass, I do think that and DA's tough to stay in front of. I do think you probably, as Leon said, want him attacking earlier in that possession. And even if he doesn't finish or get to the free throw line, you do feel like you have some really good size out on the floor with Drew Fielder and Spencer Aarons, and they ended up getting the offensive rebound anyways off of Dylan's miss. So you figure that they probably, if they attack earlier, they could still have a chance. And heck, it's only a 1-point game, BJ. Even if you miss and Hawaii Pacific gets the rebound, if there's still time, you could force them to go to the end of the court and make free throws. Even if they make both of them, you still have a chance. So I could see why you probably want to attack earlier in the possession in that situation.
Jay, well, in the final couple minutes, we got you. Football, no word yet, at least for us, on Maddox Madsen. A lot of talk on the quarterback situation yesterday and recruiting and portal and all that stuff. What's just your kind of take on where they're at now? And then obviously putting a lot on Max Cutforth, that it would appear, at least for the short term.
Yeah, big bye week, man. I don't expect this to be like a typical bye week where I would assume there's probably going to be a little less downtime than normal during the bye this week, whether it be for coaches or players. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of time for the players to get recharged and things like that. But, just Spencer's always been very honest with us about injuries, probably more so than any other coach we've covered here at Boise State. And so to, hear him say after the game that it could be a while, I could absolutely be interpreting this wrong, but it just suggests to me that they've got to find a way to put Max Cutforth in position to run this offense against a really talented San Diego State defense and have success. And I'm sure that over the bye week, they are going to grind away at figuring out a way to do that. And who knows, maybe we're surprised. I honestly have no clue. Haven't even been over to the football facility this week at all. But I just think that, you look at Spencer's history when he talks about injuries and stuff like that, he very rarely gives us smoke and mirrors about this stuff.
Did you see enough from Max Cutforth on Saturday to think that they can still win the Mountain West Championship?
I think that this all goes back to just trying to find ways to put guys in position to succeed. And, if I know that some of the late game stuff dictated how much they threw the ball and things like that, but I think moving forward, you're going to have to figure out a way to run the football and, in all honesty, not throw it 29 times.
Yeah.
Spencer always says they are a run first football team, and then everything else they'll build out after that. But they're going to have to go there with an offensive line that was also banged up in last game and figure out a way to win the battle of the trenches. And I think you also the identity of your team changes a little bit. It shifts a little bit. Like you go to San Diego State, not wondering how you score 30. I mean, maybe they do. They absolutely could. You go there thinking like, how are we going to go win a fist fight with San Diego State and win a ball game 17-13 or whatever. Like that's the type of game it feels like it's going to have to be. And you're going to have to manage that thing and run the football and just find ways to make Max Cutforth very comfortable and confident in what he's doing.
What else in terms, whether it's the drops from the receivers, whether it was some more of the penalties resurfacing? I mean, Jay, they had more penalty yards than rushing yards. I'm not sure I've ever seen something like that in the game, but just there were a number of other areas where things didn't go well. It wasn't just Max Cutforth being off with some passes. What for you, I guess, is most important moving forward here to clean up?
I go back to penalties are alarming because, it talks about discipline and things like that. But also, if you go back if you look at some of the national leaders in penalties and things like that, you can overcome penalties. Like penalties, there isn't like the most important stat when it comes to wins and losses. Can it make the difference in an outcome? Sure, but there are much more important factors. And one for me, they absolutely have to figure out a way to not turn the ball over. I mean that. If they don't turn the ball over and they win the field position battle against Fresno State, I actually still feel like they find a way to win that game. Even
Fresno State
Saturday
wasn't exactly moving the ball with ease. When you let them start at the 25
yards of offense,
they had what?
And like I said, in Boise State was what, -4, -3, -4 in the turnover battle.
Quarterback passed for 35 yards.
That's what I mean. So if they even just find a way to focus on taking care of the football and winning the field position battle there, I actually really believe they would have found a way to win that game. Instead, they weren't even close in those departments. They had a field goal blocked. They put the ball on the ground a couple of times, obviously a couple interceptions. And I mean, that was just way too much to overcome. But if you look at Fresno State's scoring drives, BJ, their longest scoring drive was 55 yards.
Yeah.
And they scored a touchdown on it.
Well,
I mean, if you have a scoring drive if your longest scoring drive is 55 yards, that should probably mean like you're attempting a 37-yard field goal or something, whatever. It shouldn't mean that you're scoring touchdowns.
That's pretty tough to score 30 points when your longest drive is 55 yards.
Man, it was.
Well, that's an encouragement. I mean, I thought the defense, I know they're going to say it's a team game, all three phases, whatever, but I thought the defense played fine. And I thought that's, 3 or 4 games in a row now where some of the trends are moving in the right direction with the defense.
I agree with that. I think the pass defense has been outstanding. I thought that for the most part, the defense played really well. I do think that there was a time where you could tell. I honestly don't believe it was just the defense, though. I think that even like the whole morale of the team was just like, you're looking up and all of a sudden you're in the fourth quarter and it's 24-7, and you've seen how difficult it can be on offense. I mean, almost the point for me, BJ, where you could realize that it was probably time to start pressing, if there was any, was they were down. Again, it was a 24-7 or 17-7. I think it's 24-7. And Malik Sherrod catches the ball almost 6 yards deep in the end zone, and he takes it out, because you felt like at that point in time they felt we got to make something happen, and it on special teams, because it might not happen on offense, or at least we got to really spark some momentum. And it didn't work out then on that specific play, and it didn't work out the rest of the game either.
So Johnny has the same way of looking this up as you do. You just go to the schedule. There's a thing called the game notes, or there's a book that I have somewhere here called a record book, and it's pretty easy to see pretty quickly the scores. But it looks like Johnny is wanting you to do the work for him, Jay. Do you know the last time? A typical Johnny. You look up the stat instead. Let's just text Jay or ask Jay to do it for us.
Oh, Johnny's the best. You know that.
He says, but now he has Bob Beeler looking it up for him now. So
Bob could probably look it up faster than any of us.
By the way, both your schools last night had an interesting basketball game.
Hey, I'll say this. It was against Johnny's alma mater, and I saw the way that Idaho played when they were up here, and I actually was I was concerned about that game against my alma mater, not necessarily against, the team that I cover.
What was the spread?
For what?
Last night, the Idaho-Washington State game.
I don't know. Maybe Johnny knows. I think it was like a touchdown, basically.
Okay.
It was basketball, but
it was certainly an upset, right?
Oh, I mean, from what people thought, but I was very concerned about that game going into the night. Like, I just kind of seeing the direction of where my alma mater's been trending, and to see how, again, Idaho played. Man, they played really, really freaking hard against Boise State here. I thought that I was pretty worried about my alma mater going in, and sure enough, Vandals went over and beat them.
Well, 1 of 31. I know it was tough last night. Any final thoughts, Jay? I'm going to keep this going a little bit because we got good viewership, and I got some more comments I can read and things can address and talk about without you. But do you have any? We're up 48 hours for the football and basketball teams. Any big picture final thoughts here?
Big picture final thought. The Boise State women's soccer team is in action at home tomorrow over at Boaz. They are playing for a title. They are truly one of the best.
Did Coach Jim Thomas, by the way, I don't know anything about soccer, but it looked like he got jobbed on the Coach of the Year, if you ask me. I mean, had the regular season champs. They beat the team that got second, the coach got it from Air Force. I mean, I don't know anything about soccer, but I was just looking on Twitter and I saw, okay, well, Boise State didn't lose a game in conference play. I think 8-0-2. 2 ties and 8 wins. Didn't lose a game in conference play. They win the conference. Typically, the conference coach of the year comes from the team that wins the conference. And then, oh, by the way, the team that got second, I think by 2 games or something, Boise State won at Air Force 2-1. They beat them at Air Force, and somehow the Air Force coach still gets and nothing against the Air Force coach. Nothing about it. I'm guessing they were picked way lower and finished second. I'm just guessing, but that reeks like, hey, Air Force is sticking around in the conference. Boise State is not. We're giving it to the Air Force coach. I thought that was weird.
I think that people are probably thinking like, oh, Boise State won the league last year. They just ran it back this year and didn't consider Jim Thomas had some significant roster turnover this year. He's got a goalie that should be up for, obviously freshman of the year, but maybe even defensive player of the year, and in Ava DeLeast. And Jim's done a phenomenal job with this crew. So knowing him, like any other head coach here too, they'd rather just hoist up a championship trophy at the end of this thing. But I guess the biggest question right now, BJ, is if you win the league title the year prior, you get to host the Mountain West Championships for soccer, right? That's why
who's hosting next year?
I didn't ask. You did.
Who's hosting next year? I guess Air Force. They finished second, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
funny.
know.
Would Boise? Would they still host it in Boise for the Mountain West? By the way, Johnny says 362 consecutive games without being shut out. And final thing, Jay, as we let you go, can you confirm this? Would you take being a Wazoo alum over being a BSU alum right now?
Honestly, no. No, I wouldn't. I still feel confident about what they put into the basketball team here. NIL wise, coaches wise, I love my alma mater, but it's anybody's guess right now with them. I still feel much more confident about what's going on here, to be honest with you.
Well, Jay, appreciate your time as always. Any early look to who the guests will be on tomorrow's Bronco Studios?
Yeah, we might have figured that out today. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe a little different plan now than it might have been on Saturday or something.
Potentially. We are. It seems like I'm joking when I bring it up, though, but we will be highlighting the soccer team and as well as Sean Garrison, the volleyball team, with a big win. And then we'll go from there.
Is that 7:00 tomorrow for soccer?
I believe so.
They get the second game, I think.
I believe you're right. I can't remember 6 or 7, but I believe
that's the semifinals. And is that Utah State?
Yeah, they got to win one game basically. So I mean, if they can win one game, then they go to the championship, which would be over the weekend. So here's the hoping that they can get that done. But game tomorrow is actually a little earlier in the day. It says we get a 4 p.m. kick.
Oh, they're their first game.
Four. Oh wait, no, that's I'm sorry. Looking at that is it's 7 semifinals. It's 7.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, Jay. We'll be watching tomorrow at 4:00 on Bronco Studios, and appreciate you as always on a Tuesday. I know this probably wasn't the most fun Tuesday to realize you had to come on the show today, but appreciate you.
Yeah, when you reminded me last night, I was super stoked about it.
We'll be talking to you soon, man. Appreciate it.
Sounds good, bud.
There he is, Jay Tust, Bronco Studios. Make sure you're following Boise State's YouTube channel and following everything Jay is doing with Bronco Studios there. And yeah, I mean, it's he was honest, and I thought he was fair, and I appreciate Jay for coming on. But now, obviously, as a paid employee at Boise State, I know it's a little tough for him to, give his honest opinion sometimes and not tick anybody off in the building. And I get we put him in a tough spot sometimes, but I still think he is very fair and did a tremendous job there. And we appreciate Jay, as always, for coming on the show. We got some other comments and things in there. I saw some questions about the football transfer portal. I can keep that going here for a little bit. Do want to thank rowpaint.com, official paint and coatings company at Boise State Athletics. Rowpaint.com. Check them out. ROEpaint.com. Rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. You heard Andy Rowe yesterday. Any of those painting projects, please hit up rowpaint.com. ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union. We appreciate them. Rain's family made the switch to ICCU. Tremendous folks. Cool and awesome to see them back on board with Boise State Athletics. And we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. So make the switch today. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate Taco Bell for their support of Bronco Nation News. Hit up Taco Bell. We'll be back out at Taco Bell for a broadcast here in the very near future. We appreciate local Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. Hey, Jackson's, you can get those trading cards. I was at Jackson's this morning getting my energy drinks. $12.99 for the trading cards, and you can get that 99-cent coffee anytime, day or night, from our friends at Jackson's. Hey, the Blue and Orange Store, if you're looking for some Boise State gear, check out the Blue and Orange Store. The blueandorangestore.com is a spot you need to go to get your Boise State gear, whether it's those jerseys, car flags, bumper stickers, over 4,000 hats on the hat wall. They got you covered online at the Blue and Orange Store, online at theblueandorangestore.com. And I also want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise, whether it's a new pre-owned Ford F-150 like the Rains family has, whether it's their new electric vehicles. They got some great deals and things at Lithia Ford of Boise, and we appreciate them for their support. You can get it online at lithiafordboise.com. View that full inventory of vehicles. We appreciate Jim Sturk and company for their support of Bronco Nation News. And as always, you can check them out online at lithiafordboise.com. All right, let's see where we want to go with this. I need to plug in my laptop, and I'm having trouble finding my plug here. So let's take a quick 30-second timeout, and we're back right after this on Bronco Nation News. If you got any questions, comments, keep them rolling. We'll get to them here shortly on Bronco Nation News.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame. All right, back here on Bronco Nation News, and appreciate you guys for joining us here. I did have somebody in the chat talking about, let's see. Let's see. He is fair, and I'm glad you don't overdo it. You push just enough. Well, appreciate you for saying that. There you go. Yeah, that's funny. That's nice of you to say. Appreciate that. Somebody mentioned the broadcast in here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that again, but I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. We were able to show the game last night. Thank you to Chris Kutz and Cody Gogler for helping kind of make that happen on a one-time basis. I thought it was really cool. We had a partnership. We were able to show the stream through our platform, and then I came on the commercials and things and was able to jump in. And if we can do it more in the future, I'd love to have different former players like a Matt Bauscher come over for 4 minutes, maybe get Tust or some other folks involved in the broadcast and make it more of a true Manning style. We didn't get the approval for the broadcast until like 5 o'clock last night, and had been working on it all day and didn't have time to really do much for it. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I think it could be pretty cool. We were testing it out for one game, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it again or not. I know it's only for the Mountain West Network games. It won't be for games on like CBS or Fox, but if there's another Mountain West Network game, we'd like to try to do it again. And we end up having great viewership at the end because of how close the game was. Later in the game, folks were all over the country were tuning in, so we had some great viewership for the game. I can't find the comment. It's too far away in the chat, but somebody was asking about like all the transfer portal QB money and like why the Boise State used to be a developmental program. Why can't they, develop in the high school quarterbacks and stuff like that? They can't keep them. That's the problem. And part of it is Boise State has proven to show other teams that like they'll do the work for them. Boise State finds quarterbacks, and they've proven to have quarterbacks, and committed in the past, and then other schools come in and take them. And I think the other schools have realized, oh, Boise State's on that guy. He must be pretty talented. Let's go take a look at him. And Boise State does a lot of the homework for a lot of other, players, teams out there. So I think that, Boise State's had 3 quarterbacks decommit in this class alone. They had a quarterback last year decommit that went to Georgia. They've lost quarterbacks to Oregon, to some big time places. So, BYU, I just think that they're trying, and they're finding very high level quarterbacks, and then other schools come in and offer more money and pry them away. So I do think money's a factor, and I do think all that plays into it. I just maybe teams should be paid for decommits. If they're not signed to a contract and it's not official, the other school is not doing anything wrong. It's a dirty part of college football. You don't see it as much in basketball. There's some code amongst the coaches. Once you get a commitment in basketball, people really stop recruiting guys. And I don't know why that's the case in one sport, but not the other. But they have been a developmental program when they can hang on to their guys. And they obviously have done a great job evaluating talent, a la Caton Hauser going to Michigan State. I mentioned Oregon. I mentioned, a quarterback going to Georgia. I mean, now we'll see where Traden Bessinger ends up. But I don't know what else Boise State can do. I mean, they've had committed quarterbacks that are going to some of the best schools in America, and they haven't been able to hang on to them. So to say they're a developmental program, well, they are, but they've got to be able to get the guys they originally want and not have to fall for second and third options. No disrespect to Maddox Madsen, but the facts are he was the second option in that class to Caitlin Hauser, who went to Michigan State. When he decommitted, I believe they end up getting Maddox Madsen. So that's just how it works. And so the trickle-down effect of what all that says ends up being, sometimes you end up with a quarterback room that looks like it does right now. Yes, they can recommit. If you lose a guy, Traden Bessinger could realize none of these other schools are better and he wants to come back to Boise State. And if they still have a spot open, they could theoretically say, yeah, come on back. And some schools say, they're going to keep recruiting them and keep trying. Some schools say, thanks anyway, we're done with you. I don't know the answer to that. Henderson or Cozart, I agree with that. And I was saying that over the offseason, even a JUCO guy, you'd like to see him bring in somebody that would have just given him a little more depth, a little more. The JUCO one was a little surprising to me because I really did think that there would be a JUCO quarterback out there that was not all about the money, was not all about winning a spot. That would have been fine just getting a chance on a Division I roster with a chance to just be on the team and have the opportunity and then know that he might have a chance if there were an injury or something. I thought the JUCO quarterback option, which was Jalen Henderson, would have been a tremendous pickup for him. Montel Cozart, that guy's probably getting $1 million in the portal right now. Like a guy that starts at a Power 5, I know he wasn't great at Kansas, but he started at a Power 5 school. That's just the going rate right now. So you cannot transfer in the middle of the season and play right away. You can't do it. Nope. Unfortunately, that's not. That's would be cool if you could, but that would open up all kinds of Pandora's boxes if you get guys that only play the 4 games, then transfer and go to another school in the same season. This isn't it. We're pretty close to professional sports, but we're not quite there yet in terms of being able to play in the middle of the season there, no doubt. Do want to thank Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com, all your roofing needs. Make sure you hit up our friends at Signature Roofing. Transportation Compliance Service, TCS, if you're looking for a new job. The trucking industry is a booming one right now. You should get into that at Transportation Compliance Service. Of course, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Northwest, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Download that Skip app. Get savings to 40% off of the checkout line. And, of course, Snake River Pool and Spa. You can get a new spa, whether it's maybe a pool table, dartboard, sauna. They got you covered online at Snake River Pool and Spa. thespateam.com is their website. And we appreciated Matt Bauscher for jumping on the show yesterday. And I know obviously a tough loss for him, but I know the basketball team will find a way to rebound. But appreciate all the comments, appreciate all the views and likes. And somebody mentioned on Twitter earlier today, rough couple of days for me. I'm like, no, I'm doing fine. I mean, we're at record viewership on the shows. We're at the record viewership on subscription numbers. I'm not going to say I don't care if Boise State loses or whatever. Yeah, it certainly hurts business, and I know you guys are happier, and it's better when the team wins and does well. But I still think the basketball team can win a lot of games, and I still think the football team has a chance if they can figure out things with and win that game on next Saturday, that they can still do some things as well. But we're doing just fine with. I mean, we're obviously a lot of passionate fans and care about their teams, and sometimes in the losses you even get more commenters and chatters and all that stuff. So that is always the fun one when I somehow get blamed when Boise State loses. And I'm not going to get into all that again, but it is funny that the media is the easiest one because we don't hold these coaches accountable and ask the tough questions and demand that coaches get fired, after losing one game or demand why the quarterback room didn't look any better this season, even though we asked almost every day from January till June about the quarterback depth and why they didn't add anybody. It's always easy. Blame the media. Yep. And I'm being sensitive. Yep. Nope, I guess I didn't do my job. I didn't ask about tackling today. Didn't ask about penalties. Didn't ask about the drops from the wide receivers. No media today. We're not sure if we'll get Spencer Danielson this week. We're not sure if we'll get him next Monday. Obviously, is the next one that is for sure on the dockets next Monday, the San Diego State week. I think they were talking about maybe doing something later this week. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but at the end of the day, we'll at least next Monday get it. And I think we all expect it to not be good news on Maddox Matson, but maybe fingers crossed you get, we'll see. I would not expect Maddox Matson to play against San Diego State, but I guess we'll have to wait till next Monday, maybe to get the official word from Boise State on that. Somebody asking about Syracuse losing to Lemoyne, I think it was. That was an exhibition game. That was an exhibition game that didn't, even show up on the sheet, which is what I think these games should all be. I hate to say it. I mean, it should be an exhibition game. And I said that back last year and years past when Boise State won. I thought it made no sense to play them because it didn't help your computer numbers. Doesn't hurt you, but doesn't help you either. So it is from that standpoint. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to play these non-Division I games anymore. And if you want to play them as an exhibition. I'm not sure why it makes sense to play them as a regular season game. I really don't. But appreciate you guys for checking out the show today. BroncoNationNews.com. Nathan Carroll's got an article on the basketball team and what happened last night. All the post-game interviews are up as well. If you want to watch Leon Rice, Drew Fielder, all the different interviews from after the game. And we got all that stuff up there. A ton of football coverage, basketball coverage. And we need 17 more subscribers. If we can get 17 more subscribers, we'll hit our target with 247 Sports, and we'd love to do that. So if you can help us out, 17 more subscribers, $7 a month at BroncoNationNews.com. And it's just funny. Yeah, somebody on the chat this morning said that I was invited to go on the Canada trip, and that I'm going to lose my access if I don't ask the tough questions. Well, no. I paid full price for that trip like anybody else could have. Just no other media wanted to go on the trip or felt it was worth it. Nobody else travels to the road basketball games, but BNN pays our own way. We're not getting to ride on the team plane and get free stuff. We pay full price for everything, and that's because we invest into the product that we think that you fans deserve in terms of road coverage and things like that. And so, no, we're not going to not get invited on the Canada trip again if we ask the tough questions. No, anybody else, newspapers, TV stations, they could have gone to Canada. I wasn't invited to go. I paid my own way, and that stuff all costs money. So if you are able to help us out and subscribe or support our sponsors, many of which you see on the screen below me or behind me, that's what makes this show free of charge. So we pay full price for the road trips. We're covering the team in the Maui Invitational because it's the biggest tournament they've ever been in, and we feel it's important, not because it's a trip to Maui. We're getting there on Sunday and taking a red eye on Wednesday, and it is what it is. But it's 3 important games for this program, and we feel that Bronco Nation News needs to be there with pre and post game shows. We're going to be on all the other basketball games this season. Bowl game for football. We were at the NFL draft. I mean, this stuff adds up. Football media days, there were even outlets in town that didn't cover that. So if you can help us out and support us, $7 a month right now, or just pay for the annual subscription, you get 30% off right now at BroncoNationNews.com. It really would help. We've got, I think, 13 people that we're paying on our payroll when you're talking about Prater and Johnny and Tust and Winston Venable and Bedell and Riddle and Riley Smith and all of our interns and Nathan and Chris and everybody else helping us out. I mean, we got a pretty big, Rolodex when it comes to having to fork out monthly Venmos and things for these shows and all these people. So if you're able to help us out, I know it's a frustrating time right now in Bronco Nation, but we're going to keep pushing forward and keep trying to get you the answers and keep trying to give you the coverage that you guys deserve for what I still think is going to be a fun basketball season and a season that I still think can end in a positive way for the football team as well. So a lot of positive times ahead, despite maybe the frustrations of the last 48 hours. And so we'll be covering it every step of the way at BroncoNationNews.com and here on the daily shows. And if you're able to subscribe, we'd love to have you help us out and get a subscription that would help go a long way, like I said, to adding to our staff and helping with our travel efforts and things like that. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Not sure on a Riley and Ridge show for tonight. Boise State is having trouble finding some folks to do it. We're having a little trouble finding stuff just with the bye week and everything happening. So may or may not be a Riley and Ridge show tonight. We'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll be back with Winston Venable, 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll talk mostly football tomorrow. and the NIL and the portal and quarterbacks, and we'll dive into all that tomorrow on a Wednesday edition of BNN Live. So appreciate you guys. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. Subscribe if you can, and really appreciate all you guys for your support. And I know it's tough times, but there are better days ahead. I really do think this basketball team is a good team, and they just had a really, really, really bad night. And I think they're going to still win a lot of games. And I still think there's reasons to not jump off the ship just yet. So appreciate you guys for your support. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Go support the sponsors, folks. Go subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow. But, of course, we'll see you over in the message boards chatting at BroncoNationNews.com.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.